Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dai and this is episode 1 of my new series where I take Pinterest predictions for 2026, I analyze them in more detail and then I bring the trend to life by either a crochet piece or an upcycling project. This is Glamoratti. The episode will be divided in 2 parts. In part 1, we will analyze the trend in more detail, understanding what is behind and what is motivating this trend to actually happen. And in part 2, we will try to translate the trend into a crochet piece or an upcycling project. This is part 2, where we try to bring this trend to life by a combination of a crochet piece and an upcycling project. I hope you like it. Let's go. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, go and check that video out so you can get inspired and motivated to actually make this piece come to life. I want to give you a little bit of background of how this project came to be. So the piece we are making is actually what I'm wearing right now. I will show you more detailed videos and pictures for you to understand what we are doing. By basically is like a kind of a cape situation that you can put all on a piece that you already own. Could be a blazer like me, could be a jacket, could be even like a shirt or something like that. For my case especially, I had this blazer since 2024, I think. I was really excited because this blazer actually came with a pair of pants. So it was like a suit situation that I really like. I really wanted to have like a two-piece piece of clothing. Originally, this piece has some detail on the shoulder. It was like a eco leather situation. And I really like it because it gave the piece some interest. But unfortunately, it wasn't made in a very good quality. I actually didn't notice at the time. And so what happened is that the piece, like the decor, let's say that it started to coming off. And when I realized actually the eco leather piece was glue to the fabric, I tried first to like sew it to the piece back again, but it was looking awful. And eventually I just ripped it all off. I was kind of heartbroken because I really liked this blazer and the combination and the color, everything. And I really was like going on my mind of how to upcycle like actually this piece and how to be able to reuse it. The stains of the glue were impossible to take. And honestly, if I go in too hard, try to take them out, it will eventually ruin like the fabric. So I was very convinced that I wanted to, put something on top. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. For a long time, I thought about doing like a filet crochet piece, but I was more inclined at the time to do some kind of flowers or, roses, everything that we kind of saw last year when filet crochet exploded all over social media. And that was the idea that I have in my mind. When I started developing this new series, let's say, the first thing that came to my mind was I will do for Glamoratti, I will do this blazer because if you saw the analysis, you will see that this is kind of the colors, the color palette that Glamoratti speaks about is like the bold but saturated hues. So the color was on point for the trend. And then when I started investigating the trend, I saw this animal print coming back with this trend. That, for me, to be honest, animal print is a timeless trend. I think if you have animal print pieces in your wardrobe, they are forever and ever, because I think it's something that it coming back year after year. Maybe one year is not there, but then the next year is there. So I think having an animal print piece is something that it's like a good investment for your wardrobe. I had in my mind, I think it's like the cheetah print that we all have and think we all know is the most popular of the animal print fabrics, let's say. But then when I saw Glamoratti, it came also to focus the zebra print, and I really like it. Of course, the black and white combination is also timeless, but I think maybe I can bring the zebra pattern to life by actually using filet crochet. And this is what this piece is about. It's kind of a cape. I'm going to show you a picture of how the piece looks at the end. It's kind of a cape that actually hugs your blazer from the back. It goes, let me show you, it goes from the back through the shoulders and to the front. For me, it perfectly covers all the stains that were left in the blazer from the glue. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. I really wanted to embrace this trend by doing a zebra pattern. So this is what I did. I prepared a filet crochet design based on the zebra pattern. And your girl here, I have prepared the file in different sizes. So you can choose which size will adapt better to your size and to your needs. And if not, it's easily adaptable. The tutorial is very detailed on first of all, I do an intro of how filet crochet works. If you are new to filet crochet, I give you some general idea of how it works. So if you haven't done filet crochet, don't go away. You will learn in this video. And then, of course, I will give you some tips of how to go about the pattern. They will be free for download. I will left the file in the description. But actually, it's not a very step-by-step tutorial because, to be honest, it's difficult to do that kind of tutorial for filet crochet. But I will give you like a general guidance of how to read the pattern and how to make your piece come to life. And then I will show you how I attach the piece to my blazer. So this is the intro for me. I don't want to take too much of your time on this because the tutorial is pretty detailed. If you haven't seen again the analysis that I did, go check that video out. I will try to link it at the end of this video and also in the description. Both videos, part 1, the analysis, and part 2, the tutorial, are going live at the same time because for me it's like one episode that I divided in two. Maybe you are more into the analyze and not into crochet tutorials, or the other way around. So there's a little bit for everyone. I hope you really enjoy this video. I hope you really enjoy this trend, this new series. If you're interested in see how I take on the rest of the trends, which are 21, please consider subscribing to my channel. This channel is very new. Liking the video, and of course, comment below if you have any doubts. Let me know if you're going to make this project. Let me know if you're going to do it on a blazer, on a jacket, on a shirt, or how you think you can use this zebra pattern in your life. I think there's unlimited number of projects that you can take on with this tutorial. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for being here, and let's go to the tutorial. Officially welcome to the tutorial. In this first part, I want to give you some general instructions on how to read the pattern that you will have. It will have this design, this form. It will have the numbers of the columns and the number of the rows. I wanted to show you how it works in general. Each size will have a different combination of blocks and of lines and rows. But I want to just give you like a general view of what you will find and how it works. Like I said, you will see columns and row numbers. You will see black and white squares on your design. This is something that I invented only to show you how it works. And a couple of things that I want also to explain of how to make the blocks, and how many stitches do you need for your foundation chain, what does it mean a white block and a black block, and some variations that you can make to adjust it to your size. So maybe if you are between two sizes, you can use this part of the tutorial to decide. So the first thing that I want to explain is filet crochet in general works with open and close blocks, like unfill and fill blocks. The fill blocks, the ones that are painted, are the ones that actually form the shape, the flower, whatever design you are after. And so the black ones are the ones that will actually show the picture. You have the number of columns. Generally, how do you read filet crochet design is from right to left. So you will go from 1 to 11 in this case, in row 1, and in row 2 you will come back from left to right. That's why I added these arrows here for you to understand. Then number 3 we will go again from right to left. So in general, for odd numbers you will go from right to left, and for pair numbers you will go from left to right. And then of course the columns are organized, the numbers are from right to left, they will increase. From bottom till the top, they will also increase. What does it mean, an open block? So an open block can be formed, you can decide to form your blocks in 3 stitches or in 4 stitches. This will depend on the type of yarn, on the type of size that you want to adapt it. This will depend on your preference also. If you are a person that do very tight stitches, maybe you will need more space, or you will use more stitches, you will go for 4. But if you are more of a loose crochet person like me, you will go with 3 stitches. So an open block will generally have a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. If you see below, you will see that you will have 3 stitches. So this is the case that you use 3 stitches. If you go for 4, an open block will mean a double crochet, 2 chains, and another double crochet. And you will see here the foundation, it's 4 chains. In the case of a closed block, if you go for 3, your block will be formed by 3 double crochets, and you will see here the 3 chains. And if you go for 4, a closed block will mean 4 double crochets together. This is when the blocks are in the middle of your design, like this block or this block, something like that. But if you're in the corner, this is important. If you're, for example, here, that is a starting corner, number, let's see, another odd number. Well, I don't have another odd number. So here, number 1, and then you have starting corner here, for example, and then you have a closed corner, a starting corner, but it's closed, it's a block. For example, number 2 here, because this will go from left to right. So if you have a starting corner, but it's open, for example, number 3, because we will go from right to left. So how this block is going to be made? In this case, you will have to do 2 or 3 chains, depending on how this is your preference. 2 or 3 chains to act as your first double crochet. Then we'll do 1 chain to act as our open block, and you will have the closed double crochet here to actually form the open block. If you're doing it in case of 4, here you will do 2 or 3 chains, depending on how you do your double crochets, 2 open chains, and a double crochet. This is how you will do an open block when you are starting your piece. So number 3 is an example. 3-1 here, 3-1. But if you have a closed block to start, for example, in the case of 1-1, or in the case, or on the other side, 11-2, here, it will be different. It will be your 2 or 3 chains to start, then you will put 2 double crochets and you will close the block. If you're doing it in 4, you will do 2 or 3 chains and you will do 3 more double crochets. So if you want me maybe to design it here, this will act like this. Here it will act like this. In case of the open one, it will act like this. We will leave one open and we will have our double crochet. So this is like a general explanation of how it works. Now about the foundation chain. So here you will have 2 ways of calculating the foundation chains. In my case, I went for blocks of 3 stitches. You will calculate the number of your blocks. So here we have 11. 2 times 11 plus 2. In my case, because I like to do my double crochets with 2 stitches. When I start here, in case of do these 3, I will do 2. You will see in the example that I will do. This will give me a total of 24 foundation chains. In case we are doing it in blocks of 4 stitches, we will do 11 blocks 3 times plus 2. This is in my case. If you do in 3, these 2 will be changed by a number 3. So this will give us 35 foundation chains. Let's see with an example how it works. I will do 11 2 times, I will do 22 chains. (22 chains). Now I will do another 2 chains to act as my first double crochet. How I will start? All my designs, I have put the first row as complete blocks. So this means that we will do double crochets one beside the other all the way until the end. These 2 chains will act as my first double crochet. I will crochet a double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. Here we have 2. Now I will just, for row number 1, we are going from right to left. We are doing all double crochets until the end because we have all closed blocks. Okay, so here I have my first row, 24 stitches. Now we will do row number 2. Row number 2, remember, we will start from left to right. Our first block, it's a complete block. So we will do, in my case, I will do 2 turning chains. You can do 3. Now I will do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. This will be my first closed block. If you check for 210, it will be another closed block. So we will do 2 more double crochets. We will have 5 stitches. Now we have an open one. What I recommend you is you will have to do a chain, leave one below and crochet in the next one. Don't tie this chain too much because it will shrink your open block and you want it to actually show. So when you're doing your chain, in case of an open block, push a little bit the yarn so you will have more space and then you do your double crochet. So you see you are giving more space here so the block can actually show. Here we are in 9-2. Now we have another 2 blocks. We are going from here to here. This will be our first closed block. And now we will do 2 more. 2 blocks. Now we have 3 open blocks here. So again, I will push a little bit. I will leave 1 below, and I will place my double crochet on the 3rd one. Here the same, push a little bit, and the 3rd one. We have 1 close, 1 open, and another close. So 1 close, 1 open, and another close. Here be careful not to lose your first stitch here. So 1, and then here we have another one, which are the 2 initiating chains that we did at the beginning. So here you can see we have completed row 1 and 2. Now will we do number 3. We will do number 3 because I want to show you a couple of things. Number 3, it's an open block, 1, 3. So I did my 2 turning chains. I'm doing an extra chain because it's an open block, and now I'm placing my double crochet on the third stitch from the block below. So I will go ahead and complete a couple of more rows because I want to show you something that will happen specifically when we finish row number 3 and we go to row number 4. Now we have a closed block 3, 2 here, but we are doing it on top of an open block. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can just place it inside the block like this, which to be honest will be easy, and this is how I do it. It will look like this. Or if you want to do it more tightly, you can insert the hook actually inside the stitch of the chain, the loose chain we did on the previous row. Then you place the 3rd one. So you see, this is how it will look if you place it inside. So you can actually, it doesn't make a huge difference, but it's like a detail. It's something that it's up to you, to be honest. I'm coming to the last one. Remember that here we have 2 chains in my case. Don't lose that stitch. And here we finish row number 3. One more thing that I want you to show you, that to make it look nicer. So now we have a closed block. In my case, I will do my 2 turning chains, and I will, what I recommend if you have an open block here in the start, is not in this case to make it like this, because maybe you will lose a little shape. So what I did actually, when I'm on a corner, I like to place it inside the chain because I think it frames the block much better. For example, here I will do it inside. But I don't know, maybe it's my imagination, but I think it's look nicer and it forms the block a little bit nicer. Remember that we will do it in a black yarn, so details are not going to show very much. If you do it in another color, maybe yes, pay attention to details because they will show more. So this is more or less the important things that I want you to explain before we start. If you want to use this exercise as a sample, you can do it. So it's important that in this case you actually make a sample, because if not, you won't be able to decide which size you want to make. So it's important that you make a couple of rows. So I would recommend something like this, like 11 columns, 6 rows. You could even do more and just invent a pattern, but this will give you a nice idea of the size that you can choose to make. So now that this is explained, we will start with the tutorial. Okay, so I wanted to show you how the pattern actually works. This is for my size, but you will choose the one that you want. We will start, of course, in this corner. The first part, it's still, in my case, till line 26 here, which we will have a rectangle that I will show you in a bit. And then you will see that the pattern kinds of it's divided into two parts. So, for example, when we finish row 26, we will be finishing on this side. So in my case, I will finish line 26. I will be finishing here on this side, and I will start line number 27. So when you start line 27, you will hit this red square. In my case, it means here is the place for the neck. So what I will do is I will crochet over this line, and when I get to the finish block here, the black one, I will turn my work and start doing only this right side of the pattern, which turn, and it will go on the right side of my blazer. So you will only work first on the right side, and then we will continue doing the 27 line on the other side. Once you finish in your right side on row 56, in my case, I will have to hook again my yarn on this row on line 27, but on the left side, so I can make the left side of my pattern. I will show you with the actual piece, but just for you to understand how the pattern works. Everything that is in red, we will not do anything about it. So we will start here at the bottom, and we will go always from right to left, and then we continue all the way until the end. We will first do the number of stitches that we need. So remember, I will do on my size, which were 39 blocks. So for 39 blocks, I need to do 39 two times plus one more stitch. So we just need to start doing the chains for the 79 stitches that I need for mine. Size 78, and now we will do 2 chains to act as our 79 stitch, and in your third chain from the hook you're going to make the first double crochet. It's tricky because it's very small, I know, and it's black. So here we already have 2. I'm going to continue doing my foundation by just doing double crochets all the way till the end as I complete all my chains. So once we finish our base, we just will follow the pattern. As I said, I have created pattern from different sizes. You can download them from free. And here, guys, there's no much like a step-by-step tutorial, because to be honest, I cannot, it will be extremely time consuming to teach you stitch by stitch. I will do the first couple of lines to show you how I do it and make some comments, but to be honest, this pattern, as I explained, is more of how to put the parts together. We will use double crochets all the time, and to be honest, there's no much to add. So for example, in my case, I have to do first of all 3 open blocks. So I will start by doing my 2 chains as my first double crochet, and then I will do an extra stitch to count as my open stitch. So here I will leave one, and I will go to the third one, let's say, and I will do my first open block. Remember that I'm choosing to do it in blocks of 3 stitches. So I will do another chain, I will leave one here, and I will go to the third one. Now again, and here I have my 3 open blocks. And this is literally how you will follow the instructions. So I will do a couple of more rows, and I will show you how it progresses. Here you have an example. Here we have our foundation, and then we have done 7 rows. I wanted to show you how it's looking on the piece. If you want to know if you're doing the right size, I recommend you to do a couple of lines like I do, a couple of rows, sorry. Let me show you how it's looking on top of my piece. Here maybe you can have a better look. It's not so good, but here you see that the lines are start to happen and the design is appearing. I will continue until I finish my back panel completely, and we will come back to see each other again to see how I'm transitioning to the front. Remember that we want to cover all of these and maybe go down a little bit this way. So I will continue until I literally get to the middle of the shoulder, and we will come back to see how we continue with the front part. Okay, one thing that I wanted to show you here is my back. It's covered by 26 rows. So I have finished my 26 rows here, and this is my 27. Remember that odd number rows, we go from right to left. So this is my 27 row actually. And what happens is that here it starts my neck. So in order to crochet this part, as I explained with the graphic, we are going to continue doing the right part first. We will leave this space, and then we will hook our yarn again on this side. I have done my 27 line, and instead of continuing, I'm going to turn my work here. So I will just do my 2 chains to act as my first double crochet, and now I will do 2. So here we have 2 closed blocks. Okay, so your piece will start growing first on the right side until the end. So I will continue until I finish my 56 rows following the pattern, and then we will come back and I will show you very simple how to hook your yarn again on the left side, and we will do the left side of our design. So here you can see that our zebra design is starting to appearing very nicely. Here what will happen is that our crochet will come over the shoulders like this, and we will continue on this side. We don't need to separate the pieces or whatever, we will continue, and it will actually hug our blazer from each shoulder, and it will continue through the front. Okay, this is what we are doing. Okay guys, once you finish your right side, it will look like this. We continue only on the right side, then we did the decrease that it's in the pattern, and then I just ended up with adding 2 to 3 close blocks, let's say. Once you get to the finish block, we're gonna cut the thread, and now what we're going to do is we need to repeat this on the left side. If you're coming from here we have an open block. We're going to count the second chain here. Here you have the first chain, here is the second one. So we're going to hook from here. Now we are going to grab this and go through. From here we're going to do one chain, we're going to twist the yarn and do another chain. This will be our first double crochet. So now we are going to make the left side of our pattern following the sketch that you have for your size. Okay, so we will continue until our pattern stops. Remember, like I showed you when we did the right side. I will continue until the end of this row. We will leave the space as well for the neck. And I will do a couple of rows to show you how it's looking. So here I finish the first row of the left side. And now from here, I'm just going to do the 2 turning chains that will act as my first double crochet. And this is how you will continue growing your piece on the left side, so it complements the right side. Okay guys, so here I want to show you how the finished piece looks. If you remember the chart, all this part and this part here was all in red, so now maybe it makes more sense to you. The red part is the part we don't crochet anything. This is where our neck and shoulders will be. So if you see the pattern, it's clearly showing the zebra design. So what I'm going to make now is that I'm going to do a whole row going all around the design with single crochet, just to frame it a little bit, to be honest. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to place it on top of my blazer and how I'm going to make a couple of sewings here and there so the piece doesn't move once it's in the blazer. What we're going to do next is pretty simple. I just going to go use the sutures on the blazer that already exist here. I will use a black thread, and I will just sew this by hand using the suture as a guidance, especially here in the borders, because I really want to cover, you know, this area that is the damaged area. So I really want my design to go exactly in line with the border to cover all of that. I don't think I'm going to sew it here at the bottom. This will be left open, but I will make sure to sew this correctly. Okay guys, so here I just use my pins to secure the piece in place, and then this is just to be sure that I'm placing it where I want to. And then with just a black yarn and a sewing needle, like the one that you use to attach a button to a piece of clothing, I just start sewing the piece all around my blazer. In my case, I use the middle suture on both shoulders to use as guidance for the first place to sew, and from there I continue throughout all the piece. Finish. So you see it's exactly on top of the suture, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other shoulder. So this is the part, let's say, where you make sure your work is aligned on both shoulders. Okay, so I wanted to show you, now I have finished with the sewing. I follow the suture here on the side of the blazer like I explained before. I did the same on the front, and then I left this without sewing, and here I did it all this way. I left it open here, and I did that as well all this way. Another thing that you can do if you don't want to sew it like myself, you can also like add some buttons, maybe here like in the back of your neck, and maybe you can do it removable. In my case, I saw it because I needed to cover those stains, and to be honest, because I pretend to use it like this always. So it's done. Now I'm going to show you how I will style this and give it an even extra Glamoratti look. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and that you really enjoy Glamoratti as much as I did. I for sure will be using this piece for the years to come. Hope you see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.